Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody? You're pretty like, why is she wearing a leather coat on a summer day? Well, it's very breezy out there and it's like 65 and I got a lot of cross breezes in my house because I love cross breezes. Anywhere I live has to have cross breezes. Every time my husband's looking at properties, I'm like, we got to make sure it has a cross breeze, right? That's just the way I am. And God knows I'm that way. He made me that way. So it's okay to ask for what you want. Cheers. What day is it? It's the 12th. It's Tuesday. Another day for the RV to happen, in my opinion, right? Why? Because your girl just knows. God has trained me to the point where when stuff starts to go a little wonky, I know something big is coming. I just do. And so I don't freak out anymore. I used to. I'm human, right? But God has trained me, like I said, over 21 years. I studying His Word. And all this morning, he was like, teach them about money. And so I'm like, about money? Like, you mean money? Like, he goes, no, teach them how I've taught you to manifest money in my life. Right? So that's what I'm teaching you today. I'm going to delve into manifesting money, and I can tie it right back to the Word, because for those of us who've been believing for a financial miracle, because a lot of things have happened, right? And we're also aware of a lot of things, but look away from all that would distract unto Jesus and unto God, right? Because you have the power to co-create your own reality in these circumstances, which I'm going to keep hammering that in, because you do. And so you can create prosperity even when everybody else is suffering lack and complaining about lack. Even when there's food shortages, for most people, it will not come near you. Psalm 91 is a promise, right? Though 1,000 fall at my left, 10,000 at my right, shall not come near me. So when you come from that perspective, again, come from the whole counsel of God. That's what I do here, is I teach you from the whole counsel of God. Nothing missing, nothing broken, right? Nothing, it's just the truth. So I'm going to come to you out of Romans. I literally didn't know where to go. I didn't do my normal, like sometimes I search in categories and then do a study. That isn't what I was led to do. He said, just talk about money. So I'm going to talk about it. But first I'm going to go to the Word. Therefore, this is Romans 4:16. Therefore, inheriting the promise is the outcome of faith and depends entirely on faith, in order that it might be given as an act of grace, unmerited favor, to make it stable and valid and guaranteed to all his descendants, not only to the devotees and adherents of the law, but also to those who share the faith of Abraham, who is thus the father of us all. I mean, I could teach for an hour on just this. I could break it down. Therefore, inheriting the promise is the outcome of faith. And prior to that, the verses prior to that, he's talking about, verse 4, now to a laborer, his wages are not counted as a favor or a gift, but as an obligation, something owed to him. That's a laborer. That's somebody who works for somebody else, right? But to the one who, not working by the law, trusts, believes fully in him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is credited him as righteousness, the standing acceptable to God. Remember Abraham, he was promised a son and he was 99 years old and his wife was all dried up and old, and she actually laughed, right? Because they just had never had a child. And so it was counted to Abraham as righteousness that he hoped on in faith, right? We're talking, this is a faith walk. My whole journey with God has been a faith walk. When he took me from when I was making a very healthy 6-figure income, which I know my enemy and my soul, my spirit, your enemy, our collective enemy, never thought I'd give up that kind of position that I'd worked so hard for. But he was wrong. Right? Because God is so much better. So much better. I have freedom. Money comes easily and effortlessly because I trust in him. If you would like money to come easily and effortlessly, you got to trust him, the maker of you, the maker of heaven and earth. God is everything to me. I love God. I mean, Jesus came to show me the way to be as he was on this earth, which he was completely provided for. He healed the sick. He raised the dead. When they needed to pay the taxes, he said, oh, go to the fish, and got a gold coin out of the fish's mouth. If you want that kind of miraculous life, I'm glad you're here, because that's exactly my life. That's exactly how I've lived. And it makes people weird. It makes people do weird things. They get jealous. The favor of God on your life, you got to be ready to be uncomfortable. Right? And when God brings this, if we have to sign an NDA, I don't know if we do, but if we do, then we have to be mum about what this happened, right? So you just point to God and say, God just bless me. I just got very fortunate, right? Because I know I was following the leading of the Holy Spirit when I invested in the Iraqi dinar. So I know that's coming, whether that comes first or with the basket. I don't know. I'm not an intel person. I'm a faith person. But God told me this specifically. It was all about money. It was all about manifestation of prayers for money, right? Because I don't know if you all remember, but last July, oh, it's about this time, about this same week, last year is when I got $15,000 in grants, right, from the SBA. And it was after that they started talking about more shutdowns. They started talking about different variants. And I'm like, okay. And then I felt led to go for the loan. And I applied for the loan. And then I went through the process because I'd always declined the loan and got the grants, right? I was very blessed and fortunate to have gotten those grants, right? Because it was repayment for everything that had happened. But God blessed me with those grants, the full 15,000, even when there were times when they said, oh, you weren't going to get grants, only certain people were going to get. I kept believing on in faith. I'm doing the same thing here with the RV GCR. Some people are like, why does she keep talking about that? Right? Because God told me to. Seriously. A lot of people, like Holly, if you look at her intel report, she keeps your vibes high. I'm talking about, how do you do that? How do you have faith? Right? Well, let me read it again. Therefore, inheriting, this is the Amplified, inheriting the promise is the outcome of faith and depends entirely on faith in order that it might be given as an act of grace, unmerited favor, which means it's grace, 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 555. One of my videos the other day was 555. That's grace, 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 unmerited favor. My channel growing is unmerited. Right? Yes. Did I do the work? Faith without works is dead. Yes. Did you invest in the Iraqi dinar? Yes. Did you find some dinar? Yes. Did you get in your possession? Yes. That was the work you had to do. Then you have to have faith that it's going to happen. Did Abraham and Sarah consummate? Yes. And there were plenty of times that the baby didn't come, no evidence of her pregnancy came, and they still had to do it. Right? I mean, you may be laughing. It makes me laugh that I'm talking about this. But because this book is all about talking about the promises of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which we are in the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We don't need anybody else, right? And so I'm just saying, right? So how do you go about manifesting it? Well, first, I'm going to give you 3 keys, right? You pray, you believe, and then you receive. So we've all been praying for this. I know I've been praying for this a lot. So then we are in the step of believing because we haven't received yet, right? We haven't gotten the calls yet, although all bets are good that it might be this week. But I need to really talk to you about, how do you believe? I'm the only one doing this. How do you believe? Well, you act as if it's already happened. You thank God for everything you can give thanks for. You don't thank him out of, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that. No, you have to match your words with your feelings because God knows your frequency, knows your vibrational levels, knows how you're really feeling. You can't lie to God, right? He knows what's in your heart, right? He knows what's in my heart. He knows I really don't care about money, which is why he brought this. I really don't care about money. I just wanted to help people. That's why I walked away from a successful career and did this. That's why when he told me to sever from my business partner, which I knew was going to cause destruction of that business that took me 10 years to build, I didn't question it. Why? Because I'm not here to make money. I'm here to help people, right? I'm not here because of the money. But yet, at the same time, he's about to give us a lot of money. And he put me in these groups so that I could educate you on how his kingdom works, because I do believe it's almost as if it's already here, but there's too many people doubting it because they're too distracted with all the things going on in the world, right? They think, oh, it's never going to, there are some people who believe that good things never happen to them, right? You can't be one of those and receive this, right? And in the meantime, I've seen God provide abundantly for us. I mean, it seems as if every dollar we spend comes back to us multiplied. So yesterday, we were coming back from errands. We spent a lot of money. We went to the store. My husband surprised me with flowers, and I was so happy. He hasn't done that in a while, and it was a blessing. I wasn't feeling well. I was feeling underwear. Now I'm feeling happy, healthy. I'm feeling normal. Why? Because I believed I am. Because God is my healer, right? Yes, I take my nutrition because that's my part, and then his part is to complete my healing. Now I'm feeling good. So hopefully you can tell I feel good, right? And then anyway, so we're on our home and one of the lights went off on one of our Jeeps, and it was like we were on a very bumpy road. And so my husband goes, oh, let me take that in. And I don't argue with my husband anymore. I just let him do it. And then he goes, I'll call you if I need it. I got everything put away. And then he goes, I'll call you if I need you to come get me. And then he called me and I needed to go get him. So I went and got him, and I'm not worried about that bill. Yeah, it's another bill. But see, I've been trained up by God. God is my provider. And he gives us things to do. He makes it very clear to us what he wants us to do. Like he told me blockchain, blockchain, blockchain. He told me to, use one bag to pick up the, it's all inspired by God. There's things you have to do, and then there's things he does. Obviously, it's up to him to break the spells over this earth. I can pray and pull down the strongholds, and I do. But beyond that, he needs to move. I've prayed that he would move in the minds of the people to release this to us. So that's my part. But your part is to believe. Pray, believe, and receive. So how do you believe? You pay attention to my channel, because this is exactly like me hitting the ambassador level at my company. It seemed impossible. It seemed impossible. But God. And he made me believe even when it seemed impossible. And literally the month we had to qualify 2 months in a row, $4,000 in all, and just one form of income. And the month that it hit the 4,000, it seemed impossible. In fact, I went to bed that night thinking, it's not happening this month, because it was towards the end of the month. We were tired. We'd just gotten back from a trip. I know what weariness is when you're at the end of a journey. I was very weary, very battling in my mind about this. So even if you're battling, just ask God to help your unbelief, right? Because that was covering me. I worshiped when I went to bed because I couldn't sleep. And I just went to sleep. I awoke to a phone call that overnight everybody ordered. It was not any big volumes coming in, but I'd qualified. I'm telling you, God has a way to get this thing done, right? And if we all believe, it'll be done. So again, therefore, inheriting the promise is the outcome of faith, and it depends entirely on faith. In order that it might given as be an act of grace, unmerited favor to make it. Again, it's not, you cannot say this is you, right? To make it stable and valid and guaranteed to all his descendants, not only to the devotees and inheritance of the law, like the Jewish, they adhere to the laws. There were 600 and some laws out of the 10 Commandments. They developed 600 and some laws, but also to those who share the faith of Abraham, who is thus the father of us all. Abraham is the father of you and me. God bless you. I hope you like this. God bless. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you to continue to pray for my complete and full healing, and for my husband who's working today on the water. I'm praying for him. Like, he got up and left early, and just pray for us, right? And I know it's our time. It's our season. God bless you.